Hi everybody, this is Howard, the Teaserking, coming to you with week 10 of college football. I'm going to do a quick overview and then I'm going to get in and give you a 21-team teaser. Just want to help people, and in case they're undecided on which team to take, you can take plays better than what you want. 15-team teaser, 5-team teasers. Maybe you're going to play a teaser, you don't know which way to go. You can play them in parlays straight up if you like. College seems to be able to do that, where the pros, the games are pretty much 23-20 a lot. Look at the Carolina-Indy game, should never have gotten close. If that's a college game, it probably isn't close. And college tends to run the score up because they want to get into the playoff, how stupid that is, and everything else. So anyway, real quickly, teams that have been hot that if I go by the teaser trends, who's hot this year? Baylor, Louisiana Tech, Memphis, Temple, Western Kentucky, Clemson, Florida, Houston, Iowa, Notre Dame, Pitt, South Florida, Tennessee, and Tulsa. And weak teams that they're not necessarily weak teams, but teams that are, if you bet against them, you've been very successful. Surprisingly, Alabama's at the top of the list, with Auburn, Arkansas, Florida State, and you got teams like Kansas, Kentucky, Louisville, UCF, who's terrible this year, Georgia, North Texas, some of the weaker teams, New Mexico State, San Jose State, UTEP, Kentucky, Kansas, Boston College, Colorado State. So what I'm saying is, the first group, every week they're covering in a teaser. You just keep betting them. And the second group, you just bet against them. That's kind of the start of the flavor. I figured out the weak teams from the strong teams. Teams like UCF that started out strong or average have become weak. Teams like Tennessee have gotten stronger. You know, when I say a strong team, it doesn't necessarily mean the top, like Ohio State or Michigan State, the real strong teams. I'm just saying they're very strong, and they still lose. Like Tennessee, for example, is a very strong team to bet on this year. Yeah, they lost to Alabama, but they're getting 15 and they covered. So what do we care? All we care about is covering. So let's get underway. I'll give you a brief explanation why, if I can, and I'm going to just go through the list. Bowling Green tomorrow, well, it's actually tonight, laying 21 to Ohio. The matchup favors Bowling Green. Cut them down to 15. The spread is moved. They opened at 14 or 13. They've already jumped to 20. So you tease it just to get it back. But Ohio looks like they're weak against passing teams, and Bowling Green's at home, and they're running the Baylor offense, putting up 40, 50 points a game. So I like them to just outscore. Ohio won't be able to keep up. Baylor, Kansas State, I'm just going to watch because of the new quarterback. I know he's been playing. My Baylor buddy says, no, he looks good, don't worry about it. It's a system thing. And what they do is they read I think they read the safety. If the safety comes up to support the run, he throws it. If the safety stays back, he runs it. It's very clever. It's like what they used to do with the read option now, where they read the defensive end. If he crashes in, they keep the ball and the quarterback goes around. The end stays out, he gives the ball to the fullback. But they're doing it with the safety, not the defensive end. It's incredible. And their quarterbacks just find it, and you see the results 60 points a game later. So I don't know what happened to them. They played TCU 50 points, and then they can't score on Texas. So I don't know what their problem is. I know they've lost a few quarterbacks. I'm watching that game, but if you like Baylor minus 11, feel free. Western laying 14.5 to Ball State. I like Western. Again, Ball State seems to be weak against passing teams. Western's a very explosive offensive team. Not a great defense, but Ball State doesn't have that great of an offense. Again, I think Western puts up there 40 or 50, and I don't think Ball State can keep up. And you're only laying 8.5 at home. Mississippi State laying 7.5 to Missouri. I just think Dak Prescott wins the game. I think their defense easily shuts down Missouri. It's probably a good underplay too, but only laying 1. I like Mississippi State. they're not a bad road team. Missouri's just terrible this year. So Mississippi State with Prescott, because he's a senior, I look at them to win the game and beat Missouri. So you just got to lay 1.5 there. Temple laying 12 or 13 to SMU. Cut it down to 6 or 7, 6.5. Try to get it under 7 if you can. If you're laying 7, that's okay. It's still a low spread. Temple's defense will smother SMU's offense. They don't really have a Baylor-style offense. SMU's more of a running quarterback, and Temple has a great defense, a top 5 defense. They'll shut them down. Their offense looks good. They can run it, and they'll pound SMU. Temple should get into the 40s. SMU won't score a lot in this game. Duke, North Carolina. This is a rivalry game like a USC, UCLA, Michigan, Ohio State. I love the dog in those type of games. When the game's even, I see this game as even. North Carolina's better offensively, but Duke, with Cash as the All-American safety, is going to give havoc to a passing team. Duke's played very well this year. They got screwed against Miami. I love their coach, and I think they'll be upset, but I think they'll use it in the right way, and they'll play tough. Take Duke in 14, 14.5. Western Kentucky laying 24 to Florida Atlantic. This is, again, a very explosive Western Kentucky team putting up a 50, and Florida Atlantic is kind of a weak, low-scoring team. They're not going to stop Western Kentucky from scoring, and they won't be able to keep up. And Western Kentucky at home laying 18. I think that's a strong play. Iowa laying 7 to Indy. Cut it to 1. I just see Iowa here is just the defense is too much. Indy's a strong team, but I just think Iowa's on a roll. They've been a play team. They're 7-0 against the number in a teaser. I don't see why they won't win the game again. You're just laying 1. Houston laying 8 to Cincinnati. This is a tough game because Cincinnati is pretty explosive, but they lack a defense. Houston, I think, is very explosive offensively and has a much better defense. Houston's the better team by a little bit. They're at home. You're just laying 2. I think Houston wins the game. I don't know how close it'll be, but Cincinnati can score. But I don't think they can. I don't think their defense is going to be able to hold Houston. And Houston's been playing exceptional this year. Take Houston late at 2. Tulsa laying 16.5 to UCF. Tulsa runs the Baylor offense. They've been very explosive this year. They've had trouble against big defensive teams, but UCF, they're gone now. Their coach gone. They quit. They've given up 50 points a game the last 4 or 5 games to not teams nearly as explosive as Tulsa. Tulsa will light them up. UCF shows no offense, no coach. Take Tulsa to win. Not big, but it wouldn't surprise me if they beat them by 20 or 30, and they're laying 10 here, and they're at home. But they're a very explosive team. I like Tulsa here. Interesting spread here. Washington laying 2 to Utah. I can't help but not like Utah as a dog in this game. Washington, I don't know what happened. They blew out Arizona last week, which was surprising. Arizona didn't score at all, so I don't know what happened to their offense. It was a bunch of turnovers or what. But normally here, I like the dog in this type of game. I probably like the under better. The under's 47, go under 53. But definitely like Utah getting 8 or 9 over a touchdown here. Again, I don't know what happened last week, but I mean Utah won. They didn't blow out Oregon State, but Washington blew out Arizona. But I don't. I think this game's close. I think Utah's the better team getting points here. Tennessee laying 16.5 to the old ball coach minus the old ball coach. He quits. All these coaches, as soon as they start losing, he doesn't want to have a losing record. He quits. I can't believe it. South Carolina's in disarray. Yeah, they scored a lot on A&M, but Tennessee's a much better team than A&M. Laying 16.5. I like them laying 10. I think Tennessee is a very strong team. At home, they play very well. They've had a really hard schedule with Oklahoma, Alabama. You saw what they did to Kentucky last week. And South Carolina, they don't have that much. I mean, they're SEC team, but you've lost Spurrier. I just think Tennessee's playing really well, and they have a chance. They need to get bowl eligible, so they need to win because they play such a tough schedule. So I like the fact that they beat, I think it was Bowling Green the first week. It was like 60-30, but I'll give them credit for that one. So anyway, I like Tennessee here laying 10.5. I just think their defense is too much, and they can definitely score, especially at home. TCU Oklahoma State. The over/under is 77 here. It might be a little bit more now. I can't imagine this game doesn't hit 100. Oak State can score, especially at home. TCU tends to be a little weaker defensively on the road. You can see it when they played at Texas Tech and at Kansas State. They gave up a lot of points but wins the game. I think TCU wins the game, but more the easier players take it over 71. I don't see how this game doesn't, like I said, how it won't hit 100 with these two teams playing is blow my mind. So definitely love this game over. Memphis laying 8 to Navy. Now this is, Navy's a very good team, so this is not, if Memphis is playing North Texas, it's a lock. If they're playing a weak team, it's a lock. But you don't have them playing a weak team here. You got them playing the Navy. Now, I break it down like this. I don't see how Navy's going to stop Memphis from scoring, throwing the ball. I love Memphis's quarterback. Paxton's the real deal. He should be a very high NFL draft pick and a very good NFL quarterback. Very well coached team. I know Navy gives teams problems when they haven't seen the Navy team. This is what's unique in college. So Navy's going to move the ball in Memphis. There's no doubt they'll score. They score on Notre Dame. They score on Ohio State. They score on everybody. I just don't think that their secondary is going to be able to handle Memphis here. I think Memphis at home, now they beat Ole Miss at home, so let's give them credit. I don't see them, they know they're in for a game. You can't lock a game like this because you can't really say how they're going to perform against Navy. Navy's a very good team. I just like Memphis because the spread's only 8. They only got to lay 2. They only got to win by a field goal at home. Like I said, they beat Ole Miss at home, who's a lot better than Navy, and they'll be focused in here. They won't get down like they did to Tulane 13-0, and we got to sweat it out for them to get us the W last week. I definitely see them being focused and jumping on Navy, where they kind of force Navy if they can get up 21. Navy just runs the ball, so that'll play right into Memphis's hands. So I look for Memphis to get out and at least cover the 3, probably win by 10 or 17. But again, you can't lock this game, but you can play Memphis at home. Alabama LSU, I like this game under. I cannot tell you, okay, give me the score of this game, and you can't give it to me. You can think Alabama's going to win, but who's going to stop the big fellow from Louisiana, from LSU? I can't think of his name. He'll do what Chubb did. He'll put up 150 yards against Alabama. Again, LSU doesn't have a very good quarterback, which is going to hurt him here. Again, Alabama doesn't have a very good quarterback. This is LSU's defense is a whole lot better than Georgia's defense. I believe this game is first one to 17 wins it. I don't think you're going to get the turnovers that Georgia gave them. Georgia's got a terrible quarterback. LSU will run the ball. They'll run the big fella. And they have a strong defense. So this is more of a defensive struggle. I don't think it's going to be that 12-9 game we had a couple years ago, but if I had to take the line, I would probably take LSU at 12.5 here, because you can't tell me that Alabama is going to win this game for sure against a very strong LSU team with a great running back who, you give him the ball, he's going to score. However, I feel the proper play is over under 48 is to go under 54. I don't see a lot of scoring. Two great defenses, two teams with weak quarterbacks. The only way Alabama went over was 3 pick-sixes against A&M, which you're not, they could have, but there's a difference in getting the interception and getting a pick-six. You might have a punt return by LSU or something funny like that, or you might have a pick-six by Alabama, but you can't count on that too much. I think this is a low-scoring game and go under 54. Cal at Oregon. Oregon laying 5 or 4. I like Oregon here. I've been on Cal most of the year, but all of a sudden Cal is faltering. They played UCLA, they get killed. They played USC, they really got killed. They got a late touchdown. Oregon's putting it on now that they got the quarterback back. At home, you don't have to lay a point. You're getting a point or a point and a half in a teaser. I'm sorry. I just think Cal doesn't seem to be as explosive as I thought. I think this quarterback's overrated, Goff. I see him making some bad plays against the USC, against UCLA. He stunk. Oregon will pressure him, and I don't think Cal is going to stop Oregon's attack. I think Oregon, wins this game at home, and Cal is not that strong. Definitely like Oregon plus the 1. Notre Dame laying 7.5. It's up to 8, 8.5 against Pitt. This, I think, is a mismatch. I think Notre Dame's a lot better than Pitt. I think this number should be at least 10 to 12. Anytime you get Notre Dame under 3 here, Pitt's not very good. They haven't really beaten anybody. If you look at who they beat, Georgia Tech, there were some Syracuse, teams like that, but they lost to Iowa, and they haven't really, they didn't beat Clemson, they didn't beat Florida State, they didn't play anybody really that strong. I know Narduzzi's there from Michigan State, but really they're not scoring a lot of offense. They lost their all-pro running back Connor, who will be a really high draft pick if he can walk. He was a fabulous running back, so they've lost him. Their quarterback's okay, but Notre Dame, and I'm going to sound funny here, they put up 24 on Temple. They'll put up 30 on Pitt, and Pitt will not score 30 on Notre Dame. So it's really weird, but Temple's defense is so much better than Pitt's. It's not even funny. So Notre Dame laying only 1.5, or I'm sorry, I think it's 2.5. You can keep it under 3. Keep it under 3. Definitely bet Notre Dame gets the win here. Their only loss is at Clemson by 2 in a rainstorm. But I just think they're a lot better than Pitt here, and that number is really low. Ole Miss laying 11 to Arkansas. I like Ole Miss here, laying 5. Ole Miss is a really strong home team, especially a home favorite. Arkansas has been very disappointed this year. They've been more of a passing team than a running team because their best runner got hurt. The second best runner's okay, but they don't seem to be, pounding the rock like I was expecting, like a Wisconsin team. Remember, this team lost to Toledo. They haven't really been that effective. And Ole Miss at home, under a touchdown. I think they'll pass all over Arkansas. And I just think Ole Miss, better defensively. They got a better quarterback. Strong offense. Treadwell looks great. And they're a very good home favorite. A&M laying 7.5 to Auburn. I like A&M down to 1.5. I think A&M is very good at home, and Auburn's a very weak bet against team right now. Quarterback problems. I just think A&M at home. I think they pounded Mississippi State at home. They're just a different team at home than on the road. They need the game, and I think just Auburn's just really weak and struggling without the quarterback. And last but not least, MSU, Michigan State, laying 5 to Nebraska. I look at this game 2 ways. Tommy Frazier, the Nebraska quarterback, looks like he's probable. The running back might not play, but I don't really care. They got running backs all over the place. As long as Frazier plays, I like this game over because Michigan State's a great offensive team. They got a great quarterback in Cook, good receivers. They'll score. Now, again, they scored 21. Let's forget the punt against Michigan. They scored 21 on Michigan, who's got a lot better defense than Nebraska has. Nebraska gave up, 50 points to Purdue last week. Michigan State puts it in the 40s here. But Michigan State's got a problem with injuries, and they, their secondary's been decimated. So they still have a great front four and good linebackers, but they've lost their secondary. They got freshmen in there, so it's a nightmare against the passing team. Frazier is a good passing quarterback for Nebraska. I like Michigan State to win by 1. I think State wins. I think Cook's a winner, and he's proven it over and over again. I think they're a much better team than Nebraska. I do think Nebraska can score on them because of the weak secondary and all the injuries. So I can see this game easily going over 52. It's 58 down to 52. I think that's no problem with as long as Frazier plays. But defensively, Nebraska's in a whole lot of hurt against Michigan State. Again, they gave up 50 to Purdue. State puts up 50 on them by themselves. So State might cover the over anyway, but definitely like State, definitely like it over here. I know I gave you more than 21, but I really don't care. So anyway, that's what I have this week. There are 5 locks hidden in there, 4 locks hidden in there, and a couple of really strong ones. I have one pro lock going, and I'm not going to tell you what that is. That you'll have to buy. So anyway, good luck. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, again, I'm looking at trends. I'm playing strong versus weak when I can. Again, like the Memphis Navy, it's strong versus fairly strong. Houston, Cincinnati. So I'm getting a matchup where I'm not really getting strong versus weakness. I'm getting very strong versus pretty strong. So I'm taking very strong over pretty strong, but that's preventing locks. The locks I love when they're, Memphis playing Tulane, where Memphis is scoring 50 points and Tulane is, weak offensive team, weak defensive team, and they're going to pound them. And that's been the secret of my success with these locks in college. In the pros, it's just been, New England, go ahead and beat whoever you're playing by 100 points, and we'll call it a day. So that's the Tom Brady theory there. So anyway, good luck everybody. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'll call it a 21-team teaser, but I think I gave you about 25. Almost gave you the whole sheet, and if there's any questions, I can probably give you another 15 teams without a problem. Alright, good luck everybody. I hope you make a ton of money. Again, go ahead, feel free, pick 15, play 15-team teaser. For $10 you win a couple thousand. This is absolutely the week to do that, and I'd be very happy to make everybody who listens and tells their friends, hey, here's a 15-team teaser, let's go make a couple grand. I'd love it. Alright everybody, well good luck, and please let me know if you have any questions. Again, the website's www.teaserking.com. Now again, for those playing just regular teasers, you still need to buy my locks, and you still need to buy my picks, because you don't know what my locks are. So you can't you can blanket this for a big teaser, big 10, 12, 15-team teaser, 17 teaser, whatever you want. But if you don't know the locks, you can't. Again, my theory is to bet strong the locks and bet them in multiple teasers. You don't know who to take here, so you still need to buy them. And you still need to know who do I play where, and who do I play with who. Because the 2-team teasers are a lot trickier. You got to know who to match up and things like that. So again, please come to the site and check my history. It's all documented. You'll see all my locks. Again, it's 20-1. The last 21 is about 4 or 5 weeks. I play about 4 or 5 a week, and I put them in multiple teasers. So a couple weeks ago, I think I had Western Michigan and Bowling Green as a lock, and I played it with Arizona Cardinals. I had Bowling Green Western, Bowling Green Cardinals, Western Michigan Cardinals. So I had 3 locks, and I played it in 3 different teasers and hit them all. So, and they're all big. So, there's definitely a method to my madness and a strategy to bet teasers. This is just, hey, let's bet $10 and knock in a 15-team teaser and win a couple thousand. That's what I'm trying to do here. So, trying to make your money, build your bankroll. All right, everybody, good luck, and I hope you win big. Have a nice day. Again, www.teaserking.com. Good luck, everybody.